So today we are going to remember how to use the present simple, okay? We use the present simple when we want to talk about things that are true, okay? When we want to talk about things that are a habit in our lives, okay? That's when we use the present simple. Okay, so let's see here. We are going to form the simple present in affirmative sentences. Here I have a picture, and this is Julia. What can I say about Julia? Julia? What can you say about Julia? Julia? Any idea?
Julia is a receptionist.
Julia is a receptionist, yes. Any other ideas? Where does she work?
Julia works as a receptionist.
Yes, Julia works as a receptionist. Where? Where does she work?
In the hotel.
So the sentence is Julia
Julia works in a reception in a hotel.
Okay, Julia works in a hotel, right? Here we have another picture. They, what do they do in this picture?
They are the rock band.
They are a rock band. So they
Musician.
are musicians, yes. They
Or
They play music.
they play
Music.
music. They play rock music, right? Okay, very good. So we are going to check the structure of these affirmative sentences, and I want you to help me, okay? What do we need? What is the first thing we need to form a sentence in the simple present? What is this?
The pronoun.
Is this a pronoun?
Subject.
The subject could be a pronoun and could be a name, the name of a person, could be a noun. Okay, so the subject. After the subject, we have
The verb.
the verb. And after the verb, we have
Complement.
the complement, right? Very good. So this is how we form the sentence in the simple present. So here we have subjects, the subject for I, you, we, and they, and we have the verb and the complement. I live in Bolivia, you live in Bolivia, we live in Bolivia, and they live in Bolivia, okay? But it's a little bit different when we talk about he, she, and it. What changes in this verb? ¿Qué cambia? Cuando estamos hablando de he, she, and it.
We are S.
We add an S, right? Lives. He lives in Bolivia. She lives in Bolivia, and it lives in Bolivia. Okay, so be careful when you are talking about he, she, and it. We need to change the verb. We need to add an S or an ES for the verb. Okay, the third person singular. Very good. So let's see here. We are going to check the rules. How do we change the verbs for the third person singular in the simple present? When we are talking about he, she, and it, we need to change the verb, okay? So here we have some rules we are going to follow. Take notes, okay? The first rule, in general, we add an S to all the verbs, okay? This is the general rule. But then we have another one, it says, when we have a verb and this verb ends in a consonant and Y, we need to change the Y for IES. Okay, this is the other rule. When we have a consonant at the end of the word, of the verb, and an I, we need to change the I, erase the I, and change it for IES. Okay? The next rule. When we have a verb and this verb ends in O, SH, CH, X, or SS, we need to add ES at the end. Okay? Let's check some examples. For example, the verb work. When we are talking about he, she, or it, we say
Works.
works. Okay? I want you to give me an example with he, she, or it. But I want you to change this. Quiero que lo cambien por el nombre de una persona o un sustantivo. Por ejemplo, puede decir my father, my brother, my uncle, my aunt, my sister, my mother, my friend, the dog, I don't know, the dog, any animal, you can say with it, okay? So I want you to give me an example with works in a sentence. What can you say?
Jorge works all day.
Jorge works all day long. Very good, good sentence. Any other ideas? With works?
Serviría si digo her father works in a hospital.
Very good. Her father works in a hospital. Very good sentence. Okay, very good. Here we have another verb, eat. What is the third person singular form of the verb for eat?
Eats.
Eats. Okay, I want you to give me an example with it. What can you say?
Lourdes eats many food.
Lourdes eats a lot of food. Okay, very good. Not many because food is generally uncountable. Okay, so we can say a lot. Any other sentence with it? Misael, what is your sentence with it? What can you say, Misael? Todos piensen en una oración con it. Misael?
Todavía no tengo una pensada.
Anybody? Romina?
Maria eats a lot hamburgers.
A lot of hamburgers. Okay. Romina?
Maria eats hamburger with your father.
With my father?
With my father.
With your father?
With my
my?
father.
My father?
With,
¿Cómo digo de
with
ella?
her father. With her father.
Okay, so your sentence is?
Maria eats hamburger with her father.
No escuché la S del verbo. ¿Cómo sería?
It's Maria eats hamburger with her father. Sorry, teacher.
Maria eats hamburgers with her father. Okay, very good. Let's go to the next verb. Write. What is the third person singular verb for write?
Writes.
Right. Okay, give me a sentence. Tell me a sentence with rights.
Paul McCartney writes your memories.
My memories?
Your memories. Or
My?
his memories.
His memories. Okay. Rodrigo, what is your sentence with right? Right.
Todavía no tengo una, teacher.
Why? Nicole Terrazas, what is your sentence with rights?
I am writes my homework.
I am writes my homework. No, recuerde que su sujeto debe ser he, she, or it.
Entonces, she writes his homework.
She writes.
His homework.
No, his es para varón.
Her homework.
Her.
Her.
She writes her homework. Okay. Sebastián Rojas, what is your sentence?
Sorry, teacher.
Your sentence with rights.
Hosea writes a book.
Okay, very good. Rodrigo, what is your sentence with rights?
Julia writes in a book.
Again, please.
Sophia writes in a book.
Okay, yes, could be. Tienen que todos tener su oración lista, especialmente los que tienen la cámara apagada. The next rule, it says, when we have a verb that finishes in a consonant and a Y, we need to change the Y for I and add ES. For example, study. As you can see here, we have a consonant and Y. So how do you think we need to change the verb for he, she, and it?
Studies or studies.
Okay, but the pronunciation is studies. La E no se pronuncia, okay? Studies. So what can you say? Give me a sentence. Think in a sentence with studies. What can
She
you say?
studies a lot for
Yes.
her exam.
Again, please.
She studies a lot for her exam.
For here, aquí,
For her exam.
exam, yes. She studies a lot for her exam. Very good sentence. Anybody else? Studies?
She studies with her friends.
Ok, traten de cambiar este she por un nombre de una persona o un sustantivo. Ok, for example, my sister studies with her friends. Ok, Carla studies English. Ok, the next one. Fly. How can we change this verb to the third person singular form?
Flies.
Flies. Very good. Flies. So what can you say? What is your sentence?
Flies.
Again?
Flies.
Flies. A sentence with flies. ¿Qué podrían decir? With flies.
The bird flies around the tree.
Again, please.
The bird flies around the tree.
Very good. The bird flies around the tree. Good sentence. Anybody else with flies? Flies?
My sister often flies to Japan.
Very good. Yes, my sister often flies to Japan. It means that she goes by plane, right? Okay, the next one. Try. What is the verb for the third person singular? Try?
Tries.
Tries. Okay, so what can you say? A sentence with tries. Any ideas? Tries, you can talk about tries. ¿Qué podrían decir?
My mother tries a dress.
My mother tries.
A dress.
Okay, my mother tries a dress. Rodrigo, what is your sentence with tries?
No tengo, teacher.
Lo veo muy distraído. Piensa en una oración con tries. Sebastián, what is your sentence with tries?
We try.
No, we can't use we, he, she, or it. Pero tiene que cambiar esto por un sustantivo o un nombre de una persona.
Maria tries it.
María tries it. Okay. Sebastián?
John tries. Iba a hacer lo mismo con it, teacher.
Tries majadito. Tries
Sí, algo
Locro.
así. A ver,
Okay.
Josías tries ice creams.
Ice cream. Okay, very good. Let's go to the next one. Here we have an example, go, and the verb for the third person is,
Goes.
again, please.
Goes. Goes.
Goes. Okay, como si fuera oh, goes. Very good. Goes. An example with goes.
She
Adriana
goes to the mall.
She goes.
To the mall.
Ok, ese she trate de cambiarlo. Ok, por un nombre de una persona o un sustantivo. Any other example, María?
Adriana says life goes on.
Again, please. Mariana says.
Adriana say life goes on.
No. Mariana
No.
says. Ese también, ese verbo, como está
Says.
hablando de Adriana o Ariana,
Ajá.
tiene que cambiarse.
Adriana
Says.
says
Says. Ariana says life goes on.
goes on.
Yes, very good. Okay, Carla?
Vivian goes to school.
Vivian goes to school. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next verb. Watch. What is the third person singular form of the verb for watch?
Watches.
Watches.
Watches. Okay. Think in a sentence with watches. What can you say?
My father watches the plays. My father watches the game of football.
You can say, my father watches the soccer game. Okay, the soccer match or the soccer game. Andrea Diaz, what is your sentence with watches?
Mariana watches series.
Very good. Franz, what about you?
Yes, teacher.
So, Franz?
No.
Again, please.
No, profe.
No está atendiendo a la clase, Franz. No está atendiendo a la clase, Franz. Flavia?
Maria watches movie.
Movies? Romina?
Era la misma, pero Julio watches a movie with her girlfriend.
Girlfriend, okay. Maria?
Marcos watches TV in the evening.
In the evening. Very good. Okay, and the last verb, kiss. What is the third person singular form of the verb for kiss?
Kisses.
Kisses. So, what can you say?
Mario kisses with his dog.
Ok, no es necesario decir with. Directamente puede decir Mario kisses his dog. Ok. Por ejemplo, Diego kisses his mom. Okay, good, very good. So these are the forms of the verb. You need to change them when you are talking about the third person singular. He, she, or it. Okay, very good. Let's continue. Negative sentences in the simple present. Here we have Julia again. What can we say? Julia in the negative form. This is Julia. What can you say about Julia in the negative form?
Julia doesn't a receptionist.
Doesn't.
A receptionist.
Usted me está diciendo Julia no a receptionist. Recepcionista.
Julia doesn't is a receptionist.
No. Anybody else?
Julian doesn't work.
Okay. Julia doesn't work. ¿Y el resto de la oración?
Julia doesn't work as a receptionist.
As a receptionist, puede decir. Julia no trabaja como recepcionista. Julia doesn't work as a receptionist. Very good. Okay. Here I have Julia doesn't work in a hotel. Okay. The next one. They
Don't play the rock music.
They don't play rock music, right? Okay, very good. So let's check the structure for negative sentences. First, we have, what is this?
Subject.
The subject. And after the subject, we need, what is this?
Negative.
How do we call this? Doesn't, don't,
Auxiliary negativo.
auxiliary verb, negative auxiliary verb. Okay, very good. And after the auxiliary verb, we need
Verb.
a verb. Okay, and then the complement. Very good. So here we have some examples. We can use don't or do not when we are talking in the negative form for the present simple. The verb in the base form, we don't need to change the verb. For example, I don't study English. You don't study English, and like this, okay? And for the third person, we use doesn't or does not, okay? Doesn't. And the verb, as you can see, the verb doesn't change. The verb is in the base form. Al verbo no le añadimos la S, okay? Lo que cambia es el auxiliar para la tercera persona. He doesn't speak German, or she doesn't speak German. It doesn't speak German, okay? So these are the negative sentences. Remember, for negative sentences, you need the auxiliary verb don't or doesn't, okay? Any questions about the negative form? Okay, and then we have the question form. ¿Qué podríamos decir acerca de Julia? ¿Cuál sería nuestra pregunta? En el presente simple.
Does Julia work as a police officer?
Okay, very good. Does, we need does, the auxiliary verb, right? Does Julia work in a hotel? Okay, what could be the answer for this question? Does Julia work in a hotel? And the answer is?
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. Okay, so we can answer yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. But in this situation, the correct answer is no, she doesn't. Recuerden que siempre para las respuestas cortas necesitan el auxiliar de la pregunta, el mismo auxiliar para la respuesta, ¿ok? The next one. ¿Cómo haríamos nuestra pregunta para they?
Do they play rock music?
Do they play rock music? And the answer is?
Yes, they
Yes,
do.
they do.
Yes,
Or no,
they do.
they don't.
No, they don't. The correct answer for this question is yes, they do. So let's check the structure for the question form, okay? So we need first
Auxiliary verb.
the auxiliary verb, but the affirmative form, right? After the auxiliary verb, we need
Subject.
the subject, then
Verb.
the verb, and after the verb,
Complement.
the complement. Very good. So here we have do for I, you, we, and they. Then the verb and the complement. Do I play soccer? Do you play soccer? Do we play soccer? And thus, when we are talking about he, she, and it, the verb is exactly the same. We don't change the verb. We change the auxiliary verb for questions, but the verb doesn't have an S. Okay? So, does he like Pizza. Does she like pizza? Does it like pizza? Okay, so these are the question forms for the present simple. Okay, do you know her? Do you know her?
I don't know.
No?
Yes,
What about,
Yes,
yes, who is she?
This is Scarlett.
Scarlett Johansson.
She's Scarlett Johansson, right? She's the Black Widow in the superhero movies, the Avengers, right? Okay, let's check her. What does she do in this picture?
She plays
She's
tennis.
a player.
She plays tennis, right? Okay, so we can say I play tennis, you play tennis, but she, Scarlett, plays tennis. Okay, what about this one? Do you know him?
This is Capitán América.
Yes, he's Chris Evans, right? Okay, so what can we say about him in this picture? He
He
Chris,
drinks
He
coffee.
takes a coffee.
he
He takes a
Drink.
coffee.
He drinks a coffee.
drinks. No se olviden de las S. Chris drinks coffee. So we can say, I drink coffee, you drink coffee, and Chris drinks coffee. Okay, so when we are talking about he, she, or it, don't forget the S. He drinks coffee. Chris drinks coffee. Okay? Very good. So let's go to the book again. I don't know if you have questions. Do you have any questions? Any doubts, maybe? Okay, let's go to exercise number 4. Complete the sentences with verbs from the text. For example, I in Lisbon. What is the correct verb here?
I live
I live,
in Lisbon.
live. The next one, my sister.
My sister has to.
My sister helps too. Okay, because here we are talking about she. She helps too. My parents
Cook.
The
cook
food.
the food. I
Don't.
don't have a lot of free time. The next one, she
Teach
she
Zumba at a gym.
she
Teach
teaches. Cuando añadimos la
Teaches.
ES se pronuncia teaches. Okay? She teaches, watches, washes, kisses. She teaches Zumba at a gym. And the last one, he
He doesn't drive.
he doesn't drive a taxi. Drive a taxi in Jamaica. Very good. Ok, entonces recuerden siempre, cuando estamos hablando de la tercera persona, aquí, my sister es she and he. Ok, necesitamos aumentar la S o cambiar el auxiliar. Ok, let's move on. Let's go to page 100.